so we come in the door, that's what we've got.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife, and I can feel.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to MD Fish Tanks. I'm MD and these are my fish tanks. Now you may notice in the space behind my slap head, oh yeah, I remember last video people were looking, some people commented like, oh you need to shave your head again, stop trying to grow it. I really haven't, I'm not trying to grow it, that's long gone, I don't care about that anymore. It's gone. Yeah, so I just hadn't trimmed it in a while, just been so busy, haven't I? But yeah, looking fresh, looking clean again now. But anyway, yeah, you might notice this space here behind me is missing a tank. That's because we need to put in the no filter cube that we set up about a month or so ago, something like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Anyway, it's the one that I use the NTLabs products, remember? Because I've never used products with a no filter tank before. Like I've never used liquid CO2 and also like an actual fertilizer. I've never done that before with a no filter tank. So I wanted to just see how much of a difference that's made. And also there's a special guest been added to the tank that we're going to show you now as well. I actually got this BETTA fish a while ago now, and I wanted to make sure that everything was okay before I introduce you guys to it, because sometimes with BETTA fish they can be a little bit delicate, can't they? I mean, they survive in cups for ages. You bring it home, put it in your perfectly cycled tank and it dies and you're like, what? But no, this one's doing great, so I don't have a name for him either, so it's perfect. So I'm gonna stop talking, let's bring it in and have a look. I'm guessing you've all noticed that I've swapped the light out. Twin Star sent me this really nice Twin Star C it is, I think, 300C. So yeah, it's like I'm not gonna mess you around. It's an expensive light. It's but you know, you don't have to have it to grow the plants. The difference is with this light is that the colors are a lot more vivid than if you have, for instance, just your white and blue LEDs. This is an RGB light, which means it's got red, green and blue LEDs, which means you get the full color spectrum. So the reds at the back will pop more, for instance. I'll tell you what, let's have a closer look. I'll bring you in. I think this is done fantastic, really. Let's have a look. Here's how it is, guys. Looking good, isn't it? Come on, there's no denying that. The stems at the back are growing really nicely. Look, you can see from that side view there. Let me focus in. There we go. Oh, it's too bright. There we go. Yeah, look, got a really nice sort of multi-color, look a bit like a rainbow coming from the side. But yeah, the Monte Carlo's doing really well. It'll be due for its first trim soon because we can get off some of those sort of, you know, not great looking ones on the top, all across there. But you can see, look at all that new growth down the bottom. It's all just real vivid and green and looking good. You're going to get some die off as the plant sort of adapts, but remember, this is very short time. I'll put up some clips obviously of what it looked like when I first set it up, but it's doing really good. The Twin Star light is amazing, there's no denying that. And if you do want something that looks real spectacular like that, because it does sit perfectly, didn't it? So yeah, these are the products I used. It's the NTLabs Liquid CO2 Boost and the Plant Boost that you can see right there. So you know, I'm not one for really plugging loads of, like, you know, brands and whatnot, but this stuff has worked. There's no denying that. Like, I've got a full Monte Carlo carpet in a tank that's got no flow. You can see that it's a slight murkiness to a no filter tank, and that's even after a big water change I've just technically done because I've moved it in here. Up until that, I haven't done any water changes, nothing. And the reason for that is it just works so much better than a no filter tank if you just let it do its own thing for at least a month. It finds its own balance. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed. I think this is looking really good. It looks spectacular, I think, as you walk through the door. Look, so we come in the door, that's what we've got. Looks lovely, doesn't it? A nice contrast to just this sort of real natural looking scape. You've got one that's a little bit more sort of prim and proper, if you like. So, and then you spin around And you've got this nice little one as well. Everything's looking so good. It's coming together great, guys, isn't it? Like, you know, we're gonna have so many tanks to look at and talk about all the time with you. But yeah, going back to the no filter cube, looks like we've got no inhabitant in here. You might have seen in the last video, or was it the one before? I can't even remember now. I'm releasing so many videos. There was a little friend we had in here, and I've actually got them right here now. Let's go have a little look. It's a special koi betta. I've never had a koi betta, and this is not one of those long fins or anything like that, and he is so nice. Let me get him in the tank. Oh, bless him, look. He's looking a bit confused right now. You all right, buddy? Yeah. Well, he's used to the tank anyway, so it's not like I've just sort of plonked him in a tank that he's not familiar with, because he's been in this tank now for about 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. So he knows his way around. He's probably just not used to having all this around him, and you know, it's going to be a bit shocking, isn't it? You've just been pulled out of your tank and then plonked back in a different location. At the end of the day, betta fish are clever, and he knows I'm here, he knows what's outside of the tank, and that is what is pretty cool about him, to be fair. Look at him. He's so cool. What should I call him, guys? Like, he's so cool. Look at those colours. So we've got black, red and white.
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
Right, it's been a couple of days since I actually set this one up, and there's been a few advancements in terms of what we're going to call the fish, and also I want to update you on the heating, because you know, some of you are quite actually into the technical side of things. So this at the moment is the little electric heater I've got for this whole fish room, and it's not cutting the mustard, if I'm honest. It's a 650 watt heater. It's only tiny. It worked really well in the small studio. It's not really doing it here because it's 10 degrees outside at the moment, which is 50 Fahrenheit. And the ambient temperature in the room is only 14 degrees, which I want it to be about between 16 to 18 when it's really cold, and then about 18 to 20 when it's just a good temperature. So I've got a new heater to put in. Let me just get that out now quickly. Right guys, there we have it. Bit of an upgrade, look. Now, you know, that should definitely keep the place warm. Energy bills might go up a little bit, but I don't think it will too much, to be honest, because I don't think this one's gonna have to be like on all the time, if you like. I can just put it on a lower power setting and just let it sort of tick over, instead of having that small one on full power constantly and it all just sort of going, I guess. Anyway, that's enough about heaters. Let's talk about our new fish and what we've called it. In the last video, Mike from Aqua Pros actually left a message underneath saying, call it Mike, and then he'll call one of his fish MD. I just thought that was a really cool idea. I mean, I talk to Mike regularly, we phone each other, we chat quite a lot about YouTube and plans and things, you know. He's a really great guy and I really like him. So this, guys, is Mike, the Aqua Pro. Don't hide, Mike, come on. Mike's a funny name, isn't it? Like, I always like giving animals or fish like normal human names. Like, we once had a dog, well no, it wasn't mine, sorry, it was a family member's, but and my sister, she called it Dave. And we thought it was hilarious that it was called Dave initially, and we were like, you can't call it Dave, but then it so suited the dog. It was a little grumpy little thing, just sat there miserable. Not that all Daves are miserable, that's not what I meant. Just, yeah, forget I said that. It was called Dave. This is Mike. Hello, Mike. Say hello to Mike. Oh, brilliant. So the next job, we need to move the cave aquarium into the new studio, because I'm going to be putting a desk here, and the point of that is so that I can actually continue to do editing in the house and still actually see my family. So yeah, we're going to move it. Over to, excuse the mess, over to this area. So it can be sort of reasonably tight actually to the raging river. That's not what it's called. Rainbow River. It could be reasonably close. It can probably be about here, look. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand. Anyway, it can come right in there, and I can actually probably put another nano next to it, if I'm honest. Possibly even the cube aquarium. I'm thinking about doing a saltwater cube at some point, guys, but that's for another video. But anyway, yeah, first thing I've got to do is drain the whole tank, and then I can bring it in. Okay, you can see what I've done. I've packed it right out with this bubble wrap. Shouldn't get any movement anyway, but I was going to put some wood underneath, but I think it's going to be absolutely fine just to lift it with the suction pads. I mean, this silicone is so strong and it's not going to bow, so I think we'll just lift it up a little bit to test it and then just move it across. Right, so there we go, there's the tank in, that went quite well. I don't know if you noticed, we used 2 planks of wood to spread the load on the bottom. When we lifted it up, it just felt really heavy, and I just thought, well, we'll stick some wood underneath it, we'll support the weight from underneath and we can lift it from that. And it actually worked out really well, so tip for you there, if you want to move a tank full of rocks, sand and water, put some planks underneath, lift the planks, not the glass. But yeah, so next job, I always say next job, I need to get the light on, rocks back in, water level back up, conditioned water, because there's a big water change there, so you don't want to put in unconditioned water that level. You can normally get away with about 30% unconditioned water in a whole system that's been set up for ages, but in this one you don't want to, you want to do fully conditioned water. So let's get on with that, time lapse. Okay, so that's looking sweet, but I also forgot to mention to you until now, we got the plant tank down here. So this is just a place for me to store all my plants in, and I've got all this rotala is actually planted as well. So after I use up the stuff that I've had in fresh from Tropica, I'll plant trimmings in here as well. And also, guess who else is in here? Because everyone was asking where she is. I don't know if you can see. There she is, Pancho. She's just chilling in there at the moment. You know, she's loving it, to be fair. It's a really nice little space for her. It's the right temperature, there's no heater in it, so it's sitting at about 14, 15 degrees. And yeah, she's not being bothered by anything as well, which is good. So she'll stay there for a little bit until we decide to do her tank. I've got a really good plan for her tank. I want to do a real nice treat for her, because obviously I've taken her out of her own home that she did have. I'm going to make something even better for her. And now that we've finished with the cave aquarium and put it into the studio, it means that there's this big space left behind me. And oh, yeah, so I'm gonna get on with that now. Flat pack furniture, time lapse, do it. Yeah? Is this good? Yeah, that's it. Turn around and smile at the camera. So things are progressing really nicely, guys. Look, we've got 4 tanks set up now, 2 nanos, that one, the shrimp one, you know, we've got the Rainbow River and we've got the cave. And I'm so glad I decided not to actually break it down to bring it in here, because at the end of the day, I've got plenty of other tanks ready to fill up. So I might as well scape them all up first, and then, you know, even then maybe I'd want to keep the cave as well. But it's looking great in here, especially with that black background. Like, everything just pops massively. Don't know if you noticed over here, this is the Ranchu Cruise tank. I've broken it down, I've brought it in. I just need to clean it all up, and that'll be the next video, guys. So if you're not subscribed already and you want to see that, get subscribed now, because that's going to be a cool build. I'm going to do it a little bit different to how I had it before. Not massively different, because I really do like the look. And I might be taking out this grey sand as well and replacing it with proper black stuff, because I really liked when it was black and bare bottom. But I also appreciate that the goldfish do like to rummage around in the sand. So I'm going to do that for them. It's not how I would have it, but it's all about the fish. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys, and if you have, click subscribe and all that, you know. Hopefully you're enjoying this new style of sort of vlog. I think it's a lot better. I can involve you guys much more in what I'm doing, and I'm really enjoying doing it as well. So until next time, see you again. Oh, say goodbye to Mike for me. Mike, Aqua Pros Mike, Fish Tank Mike. Love ya. See you later.